Yo, what's up, all you burner stoners and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are ya?
I'm ready to get normal.
Me too. Hey, all you vipers out there in the world. Hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks ready to listen to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal with a gift that was given to us by our friends over at Midwest Terps. They gave us some Sour Secret, and this is the first time I've ever had this strain, so let me tell you all about it. It is Sour Secret's an evenly balanced hybrid, 50-50 indica sativa, created crossing through the potent Froza, Sour, and the Menthol strains. This well-balanced hybrid is highly sought out for its lip-puckering flavor, super calming high, and will have you feeling ready to kick back and socialize with friends and strangers alike. I will say this, we smoked this at Brunch of Stoners, and it made everybody very fun and very, very socially. Like its name very much applies, Sour Secrets packs a super sweet and sour citrusy lemon taste with a sharp kick of mint upon exhale. The aroma is very similar with a zesty lemon overtone, accented by sour citrus, frosty mints, and a hint of spicy flowers. The Sour Secret high will hit you as soon as you exhale, filling your mind with an expansive euphoria that leaves you with no room for negative thinking or vibes. A calming sense accompanies this happiness, allowing your brain to settle down without affecting your mental energy level. You'll find racing thoughts quelled and an outgoing sense of filing into your entire being, allowing you to jump into conversations with anyone around you. That was Brunch of Stoners. Mm-hmm. In combination, it's super high, between 28 and 29% average THC level, with 3 to 4% average CBD level. These effects make Sour Secret a great choice for treating a variety of conditions, including chronic pain, depression, chronic stress, nausea, headaches, and migraines. This bud has fluffy and oversized, rounded forest green nugs with orange hairs and tiny purple tinted white crystal trichomes, exactly the way this bud looked. And it was Christmas tree looking all day long. It was beautiful. The effects: calming, creative, euphoria, happy, relaxing, sociable, uplifting, chronic pain for the relief symptoms, chronic pain, depression, headache, migraines, nausea, and stress. The flavors are citrusy, flowery, fruity, mint, sour, and sweet, and aromas are citrusy, earthy, flower, mint, sour, spicy, and sweet. 3 S's: sour, spicy, and sweet. So I want to thank Midwest Terps, E&T, for throwing to the cause. We appreciate you here at the Weedman 420 Chronicles, and thank you for sponsoring our table that last Sunday. Really appreciate it. Midwest Terps, top notch, baby. Love those guys. Appreciate you guys. Really, really do.
They were telling a story about going to Michigan just to kind of see what it's all about. I think they were there for something else, stopped in a dispensary, got some weed. Of course, there was like buy something, get a gazillion things free. And they were smoking a J from the dispensary. And they each took a hit and looked at each other without words and just threw it out the window. I was like, that's awesome.
It's very hard when you grow your own.
Yeah.
Or to go to and try somebody else's, knowing yours is superior.
So yeah,
superior versus subpar. Not making fun of anybody else's weed, but when you're
a grower, especially,
yes, you know your stuff and you know what you're smoking. You know how good it is. And everything else is good.
That's like a Camus wine drinker having a Trader Joe's
$2 chuck.
$2 chuck.
Oh, it's not $2 anymore. It's $3 chuck now,
chuck.
right? Or $4 chuck. $5 chuck. $5 make you holla.
Yeah.
What? I'd like to thank a website. We've talked about them before in the past. FeedSpot. They did another cannabis podcast ranking for 2025 for this quarter, and we're in the top 5 again out of 1,596 cannabis podcasts around the world. We made it to the top 5 again, so I'd like to thank FeedSpot anew and the company over there for making this all happen. It's a great website. It's not only just cannabis podcasts you can go look up. You can look up everything. Blogs, not just cannabis, everything. It's a great website to check out other podcasts, to see the rankings, see what to listen to. And you can go to their website. It's podcast.feedspot.com/marijuana_podcast/. That's if you want to see the top 100 best podcasts, but there's like 1,596 they rank or rated or talked about on there. So,
So it says it's a podcast database, and there are different levels of entry, and basically for consumers, for individuals, when you subscribe, you can find all of your podcasts in one place.
Yes.
Which
it's kind of nice.
Some people have to go to different, or if they just choose a specific, if someone's just an Apple Podcast listener, they may not hear certain podcasts that are on other platforms.
Right.
So just another place to tune in.
Yeah, they're good. And I appreciate the rankings and keeping us in the know. I really do. Thanks, FeedSpot, for all you do. Appreciate you. We had a fun Sunday. We went to our first Brunch of Stoners of 2025, the pre-420 party. Yeah. And it was a new venue, very big, some really cool artwork, some really, really cool artwork there, some fun stuff. There was an old bike from the late 1800s, early 1900s.
The event space was like a gallery.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think
An
so.
art gallery.
Yeah, it was great. It was a neat seeing all the different art. And then, of course, we got to see all the faces that we love and know, the folks that get to work at Brunch of Stoners. I'd like to thank Felix and the whole crew for being so generous and so helpful and so kind to us every time we go there. And we got to see a lot of friends and faces that we know, vendors that we know. We're always next to Courtney and Toasty from, what is their company called again? Smoke Signals. Thank you.
Greeting cards.
Always great to see them. And we're always next to each other. They're fam. We got to see Stephanie, right? And she calls us mom and pop weed. I adopted them as my weed parents. So we get to see her. And then everybody else too.
It was her birthday.
It was her birthday. Yes. Happy birthday, Stephanie. Yes. Yep. And so it was great to see just everybody. Lex, Malik. There's so many. I'm not going to go into everybody's names. But then we got to see some people that come from all over too. I'd like to thank some friends that always hang out with us. I'd like to thank Maddie G and Stony, and they brought a friend. Do you remember her name? I'm sorry. Tammy, thank you. So I'd like to thank them coming all the way over from the border of Iowa to come all the way to Brunch of Stoners in Chicago. And they're so fun to hang out with. They're always hanging out at the table and just we're rolling doinks and telling stories. And it's just, I've never met them before. They were show listeners. They listened to the show and always DM'd us or emailed us. And then Maddie sent us a nice card one time for our son, a letter and that little emblem, the little patch for our son because he was in the Marines. And so it was just, the first time we met him at the first Brunch of Stoners last year and then getting them ever since. It's just great, a pleasure having some really good friends come and hang out. And then thank you, Maddie, for the 2 T-shirts.
Yes.
We appreciate it. I'm sorry I don't do my Sunday morning smoke session anymore because I would definitely wear it. But I will be wearing that shirt on our vacation. And on the show here too. So I do appreciate it. And Stoney, thank you for the lighter. And you guys are great. We really appreciate everything you guys do and come and hang out with us and keep us company too. And just roll some good fat ones. I mean, that purple punch that Maddie bought his last, that big nug was sticky, dicky, icky. And that was a good high too. Little mellow for me. It was great to come in the right spot at the right time. And I'd like to thank E from Midwest Terps too, hanging out with us too. He came and dropped off and they sponsored the table, giving us 3 wonderful strains. The strain that we serviced here was that Sour Secret. A lot of people loved it. They were coming back going, where is this from? I'm like, take his card, go ahead, you find him, he's around, and then everybody else too, just stopping by the table, supporting the 8 Decades brand and getting doinks rolled, and it was just a really good, chill time. Food was good as always, and the crowd was great. So thanks, Felix and team, for everything you guys do and keeping the community together. So, got anything to say about that, Mrs Weedman?
Yeah, it was always. It's just being together with people and consuming is just always great. And so it was just a very friendly and enjoyable afternoon and always great food and great people. It was really fun.
Yeah. We didn't mention your name. I apologize, but I do love you. Yeah. I do love you because there would be a list. I'd be here for a long time. So thanks, Brunch of Stoners. Keep up the great work. Our next event, April 19th, the Holding It Down event at Stash Dispensaries in Orland Park. And I think it's being put on by the Legacy guys again. And so we're looking forward to that one on April 19th from 6 to 11 p.m. in Orland Hills on LaGrange Road, 167th or 69th in LaGrange Road, Stash Dispensaries. Get your tickets. Come hang out with us. Last year, we didn't make it to their 420 party, which is on 419, but I heard it was a rager. Yeah. DJs, banger.
The Holding It Down series has been very successful.
Yes.
They get just a really great quality crowd, really diverse, huge variation of ages, and just a really great mix of people.
Yeah.
And always fresh new faces, people that are super engaged and want to know and learn more, and they're just so excited to be in a space where they can consume together with other people.
Yep.
and a new environment. And it's really fun. And they have usually some really quality music.
Yep.
They've got musicians that come in, perform, and vendors,
the activities
and food.
too.
Yeah, there's activity.
Yep.
There's stuff to do. So, and the VIP people who do the VIP always seem like super stoked to do it. I think they get a good, like a red carpet
Get
bag.
a VIP if you can get a VIP ticket.
I think it's worth it.
The vendors that are in the VIP room, you get really hooked. You get hooked up.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would definitely, if you can afford it or win a ticket. I don't know if they're giving tickets away.
Yeah.
If you can get a ticket, try to get one because the VIP area is banging. It's banging. They do a great job. It's a lot of the craft brands come out. You know, a lot of the independent business owners like ourselves are there. It's just everybody knows each other. Jojo does a phenomenal job too. They're marketing over there and getting it all set up. He's very proactive in the community. He does a great job, and both Dan's D&D are good. They're great at the events too. So, and then also the Legacy team. They do a phenomenal job putting that up, and it's not easy putting events together. We've gone to
a lot of events
in
our life.
In our life, period.
Yeah.
But the last 3 years since we started 8 decades, we've done a lot of events, and some have been amazing, some have been great, some have been good, and some have been just okay. You know, and it's just tough. It's tough to run events, you know, and it's not always easy to get people to come and to be able to promote it and market it. That's like some of the hardest things. So if you can support your local events, go to these events, and you'll learn a lot. You'll get a lot of gimmies and freebies and fun stuff to take home with you too. So it's always fun going to them. But some of these are really, really fun. I mean, it's a rager. The music, the Holding It Down events with the Legacy Group and Stash, they bring some
pretty big
banging DJs, like really good DJs. So come see us April 19th. We'll have some great weed. I think my friend Igneous is going to sponsor the table. Maybe I'll talk to our guys over at Ralph Wiley, and maybe they'll give us some bud too. And then I'll have some from E2 from Midwest Terps too. So we'll have a lot of great people. Plus we'll get some weed.
We'll probably have some Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy too. So we'll have a little nice variety. Come check out and make sure you support 8decades.com. Why, Mrs. Weedman? Tell us about 8decades.com.
Because you just should. I'm in a boot camp for small business product businesses right now, and I am supposed to tell you that you should just buy my stuff because it's fucking good. Well, not maybe quite like that, but it really is good shit.
Is that what they taught you?
No. That's my student interpretation of the lesson.
Gotcha.
I've always had a little twist on my interpretations, right? It's basically like, you know, if you have something good, be proud of it and get out there and, like, we got to sell it, right? We got to put it in people's hands.
Yep.
Everybody likes it. They all look at it. They all hold it. And they're like, this is great. And then they put it down. Like, hey, come on, buy it.
Yeah,
so,
for the cause.
Yeah, we're going to be putting together some fun bundles. So do check out the website. I'm going to say by 4/20, I will have a bundle offer on there, and it will be our best sellers. So most likely it's going to be a steamroller, a small Mirror and Violet glass jar, a hemp grinder, and maybe that bundle also offered with an ashtray, because those are the things that everybody loves.
Yeah.
And it's like your little travel set.
Yep.
You have that, and you're good to go.
Yeah, those jars are amazing. The steamroller. Oh, we had a woman come to the table and buy a steamroller. She goes, I have not seen a steamroller.
She loved it. She's like, this is like high school.
Yes. And I'm like, it's like our favorite thing to smoke out of.
Right.
So the 8 Decade steamroller is a hit. People love the steamroller. It's just nice. It's easy. And that's what you really like smoking at. Besides smoking a joint, which is your favorite. But when we smoke out of a bowl or a bong, you choose the steamroller. Because you can measure your intake. So, and she was all ranting and raving about it too. And she was a chef too, she said, right?
I think so.
Yeah, she was a chef. I forgot the brand. They were the brand that makes the infused waffles and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a newer food, infused food brand. Culinary Comforts, maybe? Something like that. It's orange and yellow packaging.
Yeah, you like their waffles.
The waffle mix is great. They have syrup and honey, and I think there was a brownie mix and maybe a cookie batter. Yeah, some good stuff.
Well, we can definitely get those waffles, and you and I can sit and talk husband and wife talk and watch TV and make waffles.
Talk husband and wife talk. Like, that sounds serious. What are we going to be talking about?
I don't know. Something will come up, I guess, after eating a couple of those waffles.
The waffle. We're going to be talking about the waffle.
All right. Let me ask you a question here. It's really serious. If I got you pregnant at 100 years old, when you were 100 years old, would you have the baby?
Well, I don't think anymore that I'm going to be living till I'm 100.
Well, if we were,
And if I could have
and we were still frisky.
a freaking baby when I'm 100, you better let me have a baby when I'm 100.
Baby.
Be like, baby, if you die having that baby, I'll take care of that baby.
At least for a year until I'm 101.
Then we'll pass it on.
Pass it on. Well, there was a Galapagos tortoise at the Philadelphia Zoo that became a parent for the first time at nearly 100
sweet.
years old.
Oh, happy mama.
And
How long do they live?
some of these can live to like 150 years old, these Galapagos turtles.
Wow.
Yeah, they're crazy.
That's an old turtle.
That's an old lady right there
Wow.
having
babies.
the zoo was so overjoyed with the 4 hatchlings. She had 4 babies.
Yay.
4 babies. And it was the first time in more than 150 years. The babies are offspring of a female mommy, and a male Abrizio, the zoo's 2 oldest residents. Yeah, she's been
Wait, it's the first time in 150 years. What
history.
that a Galapagos
4 hatchlings.
4? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. First
That's
time in
crazy.
more than 150 years. And the cool thing about it is the mommy is her name.
Oh,
Arrived at the zoo in 1932.
I saw that. That's crazy.
1932.
Before cannabis prohibition.
So she's 92 years
I
old.
wonder if she ate some weed out in that
Oh,
water.
man.
She came across a bale.
So a Galapagos tortoise, if you've never seen one, they're big. They're the big tortoises, you know? And you ever see, like, when they have sex, they make really weird noises.
They're weird.
The male goes... That's what it looks like.
Well, I might wake up in the middle of the night
Think of
crying.
me going...
I don't know. All right, stop it. You're scaring everybody.
Oh my God, I can't. I'm going to have a heart attack.
The female does that or the male?
Male. Female doesn't say
What does
nothing.
she do? Like-
Nothing. She's like, what
She's
the
looking at him
fuck?
like, what the fuck are you
Yeah,
doing?
what are you doing? I don't
What's
even feel
wrong
I don't
with
even
you?
feel anything. Are you even in? You ain't get past the
What's
shell.
your problem? Shut up and get to work.
You ain't even getting past the shell. And you're making those noises.
Oh my god.
Sorry, everybody. Woo. Oh, I need a fan. Where's my fan?
Hello, sour what?
Sour Secret.
Sour secret?
Yes.
I got a
by
sour
Midwest
secret.
Terps.
I got a sour secret.
All right, you ready to get the show started?
Yeah, I am.
Let's go before it goes
All
the
right.
wrong direction. Sorry, everybody. Hopefully you got a little kick out of that one. Whew, my heart. I'm coming for you. New studies suggest terpenes and CBD may help block COVID-19 and flu viruses. In a new study from UCLA Health and Research in Israel, scientists explored how two naturally occurring compounds, terpenes and CBD, might offer protection against some of the world's most dangerous viruses. Terpenes found in many plants, including cannabis, are aromatic oils responsible for the way plants smell. Think of the sharp citrus smell in lemon or calming aroma in lavender. Those are the terpenes at work. CBD, on the other hand, is a non-psychoactive compound in cannabis, meaning it won't get you high, but has a growing reputation for its therapeutic properties. How they work: blocking viruses and calming the body. In controlled lab experiments, research discovered that specific terpenes could coat human lung cells and prevent viruses like SARS-CoV-2, the virus that caused COVID, and influenza A from entering the cells. That's a big deal. If a virus can enter a cell, it can reproduce and cause illnesses. But the benefits didn't stop there. Viral infections can trigger what's known as the cytokine storm, where the body's immune system goes into overdrive, causing harmful inflammation. The overreaction can be just as dangerous as the virus itself. The study found that terpenes help regulate the body's inflammatory response by reducing these cytokines. Even more, when CBD was added to the mix, the anti-inflammatory effects were significantly stronger. Science-backed, but not a cure yet. While the study shows promise, it's important to keep expectations realistic. These findings are based on preclinical research done in the lab. Scientists still will need to conduct clinical trials on humans to verify these compounds' effectiveness in real-world conditions. The research was led by Dr. Richard Boxer, a clinical professor at UCLA's David Geffen School of Medicine, in partnership with Israel's biotech company. Their work was published in the peer-reviewed journal Biotechnology Reports, leading credibility to the scientific community. What this can mean for the future. A virus continues to evolve and vaccine access remains uneven across the globe. Natural alternative supplements like CBD and terpenes could provide additional protection, especially in vulnerable populations. They aren't replacements for vaccines or medical treatment, but they may become part of a broader toolkit for staying healthy during viral outbreaks. For now, consumers interested in trying terpene or CBD products should always consult with healthcare providers and ensure they are using highly quality, lab-tested products from reputable sources. Some thoughts. Final. Nature has always provided healing tools, from herbs and roots to modern-day plant compounds like CBD. With research like paving the way, we're starting to understand just how powerful natural elements can be, not just for the wellness and potentially for viral defense, too. Now, here's some more stuff, too. There's an ointment. The marijuana components of CBD and CBG, the mother of all cannabinoids, can do what?
It can help treat eczema.
There you go. Tell us about it,
common,
Mrs. Weedman.
Yes. Authors of a new report on cannabinoids and atopic dermatitis, also called eczema, say their study demonstrated that an ointment including cannabidiol, or CBD, and cannabigerol, or CBG, was effective in reducing itching and improving the quality of life of patients, leading to symptom remission in some cases. Published in the journal Clinical, Cosmetic, and Investigational Dermatology, the original research looked at a number of metrics on skin health, including hydration, sebum level, and pH, in 9 adult patients diagnosed with atopic dermatitis. The transdermal ointment was used as an alternative to conventional auxiliary therapies, both during flare-ups and remission. From May to July of 2022, the team wrote, the results we achieved included improved skin hydration, improved sebum level, and tool or water loss, as well as reduced redness in the studied areas. Atopic dermatitis, or eczema, is the most common, chronic, and relapsing non-contagious inflammatory skin condition, authors noted. The ointment itself consisted of 30% CBD, 5% CBG, hemp seed oil, and cholesterol. I didn't know cholesterol could be an ingredient. Isn't cholesterol like the result of something that we have a level of because from consuming
food has
fatty
cholesterol. Yeah, but
fats.
That's cholesterol.
Right.
I'll be reading about cholesterol in a minute too.
But yeah. All right. Anyway, patients were instructed to apply a generous layer of the ointment to the same site once daily before sleep and to cover the area with a wet wrap dressing to enhance its effectiveness and protect bed sheets, the report says. Photos and other metrics observed a marked improvement in skin appearance and health over a 3-month period. Authors wrote that their preliminary analysis of the results showed that the topical delivery of the ointment compounded with cannabis sativa oil, cholesterol ointment, CBD, and CBG led to the remission of skin lesions on the included patients. Patients who better adhered to the treatment regimen, they added, demonstrated greater improvement. In the course of the therapy, patients adhering to the topical cannabinoid regimen achieved satisfactory skin parameters, the study says, as opposed to patients who reported failure to comply with the regimen, owing to the fatty texture of the formulation, despite the instructions they received. The authors, a 5-researcher team from the Medical University of Silesia in Poland and De Montfort University in Leicester in the UK, noted that one complication of the findings may be that the study was performed from May to July of 2022, a season when eczema frequently enters remission. The new research comes on the heels, which is probably because of sunlight, from personal experience. The new research comes on the heels of another recent study suggesting CBD could be useful as an addition to certain skincare products, given its anti-aging and antioxidant properties, as well as evidence that it may speed the healing of wounds. Authors of that study from Prince of Songkla University and the National Science and Technology Department Agency in Thailand wrote that CBD appeared to influence a range of skin processes, making it an appealing natural ingredient for the development of cosmeceuticals. Overall, we suggest that CBD exhibits many potential characteristics that can be used to develop topical cosmeceutical products, such as sun protection products, hair products, and wound healing products, the study said. A separate study published last year into cannabinoid therapy and skin wounds, meanwhile, found that found that cannabis oil may help promote wound healing, noting promising benefits despite a need to better optimize product formulations. Another paper published last July in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology found that applying CBD-infused lotion to the skin appeared to be tied to a lower risk of damage from exposure to ultraviolet rays. Researchers wrote that 21% of those who used the CBD cream had less damage than the control group who received a placebo. This is exciting progress for CBD and skincare. Keep your eyes peeled for CBD products next time you're shopping.
Yes.
Yes.
Next time you're shopping, shop the right stuff, right?
Yeah.
Cannabis, can it help a sore throat?
I hope so.
Well, there's a buzz. So a strained sore throat has been in the news, but do you know how cannabis can help it? There's a buzz about sore throats today. While there are some common in colder months, spring allergies bring the pain also. Yes, right now I'm getting that mucus phlegm that's all in the back of my throat.
Post-nasal drip.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
Scratchy.
And I never got it until like the last couple of years. It's really weird. This is often due to post-nasal drip, which is when mucus from the nose and sinuses drains down the back of the throat, causing irritation and a scratchy feeling. Overuse of the voice, like talking loudly or singing for long periods of time, can tire and strain out the muscles in your throat, causing them to also feel sore. The good news is cannabis can help a sore throat. For those seeking natural alternatives to manage cold symptoms, cannabis is emerging as a promised option for throat irritation. Increasing research at medical centers specifically targeting sore throat shows early insights. The data suggests cannabinoids and terpenes could offer symptom relief due to their unique properties. Smoking cannabis while ill remains controversial due to potential throat irritation from heat and smoke. Instead, experts recommend a gentler option. Edibles and lozenges. THC or CBD infused products bypass inhalation, delivering localized relief without aggravating the throat. Cannabis tea. Warm beverages with cannabis extracts may soothe scratchy throats, providing hydration. Infused honey. You could put in your tea. Don't forget that. Tinctures, sublingual, CBD oils allow precise dosage and avoid respiratory irritation. Beyond direct throat relief, cannabis may improve overall wellness during illness. THC's appetite-stimulating properties can combat reduce hunger, while its relaxing effects might promote restorative sleep. CBD's muscle-relaxing qualities could help alleviate the body aches, often accompanying by colds. While preliminary findings are encouraging, users should consult healthcare providers. As legalization expands, mere targeted research is expected to clarify cannabis' role as a respiratory health. Innovative cannabis formulations, from throat-calming lozenges to anti-inflammatory teas, are redefining how we approach minor ailments. For those navigating cold season, these plant-based solutions present a compelling fusion of traditional herbal wisdom and modern I lost my place. I'm sorry, everybody. Oh, and modern cannabinoid science. Thanks, E, for getting me all baked.
I felt the same way. Like if I took my eyes off, it's a struggle. You got this, Mr. Weedman.
Listen, let me ask you something.
What?
I when I read this, I was like, oh man, this is tough. Like to like really like catch if this is true or not. So a lot of us use pillowcases out there. I'm not saying all of us, but a lot of people use pillowcases, right? And there was these nurses with this new study found that using CBD infused pillowcases leads to improved sleep quality. Mm-hmm. Tell us about it.
You ready for it?
I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready to tell you about the sleep quality these nurses are getting with CBD infused pillow. Because I was like, What?
I have so many questions about these pillowcases. Maybe you will too. Using CBD infused pillowcases. Yes, it leads to improved sleep. This was a study that involved nurses. A new study on the use of these CBD coated pillowcases finds that the use of the infused fabric coverings improves sleep quality for nurses. It also appears to significantly reduce participants' anxiety, which researchers say aids sleep. These observed improvements may be partially attributed to the transdermal absorption of CBD, which allows localized and systemic interactions with cannabinoid receptors, it explains, potentially influencing relaxation and sleep patterns. The study, published this month in the journal Healthcare, enrolled 55 duty shift nurses, 45 women and 10 men, all of whom initially reported poor sleep quality. After a week of baseline monitoring, participants spent 3 weeks sleeping on CBD-coated fabric pillowcases. I want to know what this looks like. By offering an alternative to traditional CBD consumption methods, such as oral ingestion or vaping, the CBD-coated pillow may minimize potential side effects while still delivering therapeutic benefits, researchers wrote. This innovative approach could provide a safer and more effective means of utilizing CBD to improve sleep quality, particularly for individuals with insomnia or those exposed to shift work-related sleep disturbances. Sleep quality was measured using Fitbits, which showed slight increases in the amounts of light sleep and deep sleep experienced by participants over the study period. Sleep structure itself, however, didn't significantly change. Using a CBD-coated pillow cover was found to enhance sleep duration in healthy individuals experiencing poor sleep, the report concludes. Consequently, for adults struggling with sleep difficulties, incorporating a CBD cover or coated pillow cover may serve as an effective aid in improving sleep quality. Notably, results also differed between people who exercised regularly and those who didn't. People without exercise habits experienced more profound impacts, both positive and negative, while effects were more muted in those with an exercise routine. CBD interventions appear to be more effective in individuals who do not engage in regular physical activity, as exercise itself serves as a natural regulator of sleep, they added. However, individuals' responses to CBD may vary due to differences in metabolism, skin absorption, and baseline sleep conditions, resulting in varying degrees of effectiveness. Overall, only about 7.3% of participants showed significant improvement in sleep quality. Among participants who did not have an exercise routine, 36% showed an overall improvement in objective sleep efficiency trends after using the CBD-coated pillow cover, while 64% showed either a worsened trend or no change. The relatively small percentage who saw significant improvement may suggest that a larger sample size would be needed to detect stronger effects, further adding that a longer intervention period might be necessary to see more substantial changes in subjective sleep quality. Part of the improvement may also be explained by CBD's anti-anxiety and antidepressant effects, the paper says. Compared to improved sleep quality, the CBD intervention significantly reduced anxiety, it notes. Reduced anxiety levels may contribute to improved sleep quality, as anxiety often interferes with the ability to fall asleep and maintain restful sleep. A reduction in depressive symptoms could also support better sleep quality, as depression often impacts sleep patterns negatively, making a pillow an effective tool for improving overall mental and sleep health. The study was authored by a 7-person team from institutions in Taiwan, Saotun Psychiatric Center, and the company Songbeam International. They make the pillowcase. Earlier this year, a separate study on the use of medical marijuana by patients aged 50 and above concluded that cannabis seemed to be a safe and effective treatment for pain and other conditions. Most patients experienced clinically significant improvements in pain, sleep, and quality of life, and reductions in co-medication, the paper said. About 45% of participants saw improvements in sleep. A recent industry-backed survey, meanwhile, found that 16% of Americans aged 21 and older said they use cannabis as a sleep aid. That makes marijuana more popular for sleep than prescription sleep aids or alcohol, but still not as common as using supplements or over-the-counter sleep aids. A different study last year from the retirement group AARP found that marijuana use by older people in the U.S. has nearly doubled in the last 3 years, with better sleep among the most frequently cited reasons. A study published last spring, meanwhile, found that using marijuana before sleep has minimal, if any, effect on the range of performance measures the next day, including simulated driving, cognitive and psychomotor function tasks, subjective effects, and mood. That's great. No effects the next day. In 2023, a federal-funded study found that people with anxiety experience better sleep quality on days when they used marijuana compared to days when they used alcohol or nothing at all. A separate study in 2019, meanwhile, found that fewer people purchased over-the-counter sleep medications when they had access to legal cannabis, and that many adult use consumers at the time said they used marijuana for the same reasons medical patients did, to help with pain and sleep.
There you go. Nurses need good sleep too.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. I want to know what this pillowcase feels like.
Now, can marijuana help with cholesterol? This is the health and wellness.
Yeah.
This is all this whole. We usually throw a little education in there. We throw a little, health. This is all about health.
Health.
More even so than science too.
Mm-hmm.
Science. This is all health. Getting you better, wellness through cannabis. It's frustrating because I hear so much negative now lately about cannabis, more so than I have in a long time. They're saying that cannabis can make young people have heart attacks, which hasn't been proven. They're saying that it can happen, but no one has ever had a heart attack that we know of by using cannabis. And they're saying it can happen in young people. Brain damage you can get from using cannabis, they say. I meant brain damage, everybody, but just in case. Some of us are brain damaged, like myself. But there's more and more negativity against this plant, and it's never harmed anybody. And it just gets more and more frustrating. There's still politicians that believe it's a gateway drug, and there's still politicians that believe that, that it should still be illegal.
It's like you have these worlds of thought. You've got the old world of thought that still believes in prohibition and the war on drugs and everything that was delivered to us in that time.
Well, hold on a second. So the old world of thought would be, to me, 2,500 years ago when the Chinese were using it as medicine.
I'm talking about modern day.
Now you're talking about the last 50
lives,
years, since 1906, let's just say, when the first law happened, and then you had 1937, and then you had 1971 with Nixon, and then you had Reagan with the drug war and all that, with the war on drugs started. So in the last, since I would say over 100 years, cannabis has really been attacked.
Mm-hmm. So you have people that feed into that and still believe in all of those theories of it being, the gateway drug, and you're going to become psychotic, and you're just going to be this lazy loaf that can't move because you're a drug addict on the couch smoking pot or marijuana. So there's those people, and they have no reason to change what they think.
Right.
They're not going to listen to anything you have to say. It's what they think.
They're stuck on stupid.
That's it. They're stuck on stupid.
Sorry.
And then you got your people that could really give two shits. They're not interested in it either way.
Right. It's just not for them.
They are not interested. They, whether they think it's harmful or not, whatever. They don't care about it. It's not a topic they need to even talk about.
Right.
And then you got people who are like diehards for it, or like any variety of that. A consumer who uses it maybe a couple times a year. They're kind of indifferent about it, but enjoy it, to someone who's like an all-day user. You've got all of those people. And these are all just like different worlds of thought. And that goes across the board to any topic. And why am I talking about this? Because I'm so stoned?
No, we're talking about health.
Health.
Right. And cannabis is being attacked.
And cannabis is being attacked, yes. And so now that I think that now we're in this era, we're entering this era of more testing and more diverse testing. It's not just the government testing and throwing stats at us about the negativities of cannabis. Now we've got, maybe laboratories working on making synthetic versions of all the cannabinoids and terpenes and cannabis and all these things so they can create pharmaceuticals, and they have theories on it, right?
Right.
And there's just so much. There's so much. And there's so many ways that this is all going to compound the amount of information. And we are going to start, I personally believe, we are going to start hearing more, not necessarily more, but we are going to hear data that maybe isn't always going to be positive, right? Because some of as we have more users and we have more science, it's not going to be the perfect solution for everybody.
100%.
And there's going to be things and people in situations where cannabis is just bad.
Right.
It's not bad. It's not good for that person or that category of people because of a health condition or whatever, right? An age or a disability. There might be things that are just do not touch cannabis. Right? Maybe someone has an underlying heart condition, and they're going to learn that those are people that, because cannabis does affect your blood pressure, your heart rate. Certain strains can just slow you down. Others can speed you up. And so if you have a heart condition, I don't know. I have no idea. But maybe there's going to be a group of people who shouldn't be using it.
Or maybe not smoking it.
Right.
That could be the thing. How are these tests being done?
Right. Oh, that's the thing. There's just going to be so many different studies.
Right.
Looking at so many different things.
Hence
and we're not going to hear everything good.
Right.
Right.
I think there's still people going to try to fight it.
Right.
And want it not legalized and try to put it in prohibition and all again and try to, kill what's going on, So, but here, another one. Everything we've talked about is health. Can marijuana help cholesterol? Alcohol has some negative side effects, but cannabis could have one positive health benefit. It might help your good cholesterol. In the late 1980s, cholesterol tests became as an impact of the body and heart becoming more evident. Research shows a good cholesterol, HDL, helps remove excess cholesterol from the body, while bad cholesterol, LDL, can build up in arteries, potentially leading to heart disease. Alcohol and tobacco are known to be rough on the body, but can marijuana help cholesterol? Marijuana's potential impact on cholesterol is an emerging area of research, offering both promise insights and areas for further exploration. While studies have yet to reach definitive conclusions, evidence suggests that cannabis may influence cholesterol levels in ways that could benefit cardiovascular health under certain conditions. Cannabis contains cannabinoids like THC and CBD and many other cannabinoids, which interact with the body's endocannabinoid system. The system plays a role in regulating various psychological processes and physiological processes, including lipid metabolism. Some studies have indicated that marijuana use might improve cholesterol profiles by increasing high-density lipoprotein, HDL, commonly known as the good cholesterol. For instance, research published by BMJ Open found that marijuana users have elevated levels of HDL cholesterol, which is associated with better cardiovascular health. Moreover, cannabis has demonstrated anti-inflammatory properties and the ability to regulate blood glucose levels. These effects can indirectly support heart health by reducing risk factors associated with high cholesterol, such as diabetes and obesity. Additionally, cannabinoids like CBD may help protect the heart from oxidative stress and inflammation, further enhancing cardiovascular health. Cannabis has also been linked to weight management benefits, which can positively impact cholesterol levels. Studies have shown that marijuana use may reduce abdominal fat and improve metabolic parameters. Since obesity is a major contributor to LDL cholesterol levels, these findings suggest that cannabis could play a supportive role in maintaining healthy cholesterol levels. While some studies highlight potential benefits of cannabis for cholesterol and heart health, others caution against its risk. Daily marijuana use has been associated with an increased risk of heart failure, as I was just talking about, and other cardiovascular issues. However, research also indicates that cannabis may reduce the risk of arterial fibrillation and improve outcomes following heart attacks. Yep. Yeah. Come on now. You give us some, we'll give you some back. Pow, 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 pow.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yep. Common essential oils proven to reduce cannabis-related anxiety and paranoia. Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
Yep. Most people have heard that cannabis can boost mood, but not everyone realizes that it can also bring on nervous feelings and anxiety in certain situations. Interest in balancing these effects is soaring, with many folks wondering if specific plants of with many folks wondering if specific parts of the cannabis plant might soften the jangled moods tied to its psychoactive component. This newly published work comes from Ryan Vandere, PhD, professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences at the Johns Hopkins University of Medicine. He and his team uncovered fascinating details about an essential oil that appears to dampen the jittery edge often sparked by THC. Experts say more people in the United States are giving cannabis a try these days. Some do it for medical reasons, while others do it for casual relaxation. Psychoactive compounds affect mood and perception. THC, the main psychoactive part of cannabis, can prompt both calm and stress. Determining how it influences our mind is central to figuring out ways to reduce the negative side effects of the experience. The research spotlight is on d-limonene, a terpene in citrus fruits. A terpene is a naturally occurring oil that can influence taste and scent in plants. Preclinical tests have oh my gosh, it's like I'm trying to go faster than I can. Preclinical results have hinted that d-limonene might help with anxious moods. Maybe I need some d-limonene. Many have wondered if it could work in combination with THC to curb the uncomfortable restlessness some people feel. Like right now, I feel like I could go out and run around the block.
Nice.
D-limonene is a natural compound that gives citrus fruit the fresh, zesty smell. Basically, it's what makes oranges smell like oranges. It's found in the peels of lemons, limes, oranges, and other citrus fruits, and companies often extract it to use in cleaning products, air fresheners, and even food flavorings. It's oily, smells amazing, and happens to be a pretty effective solvent, which makes it great for cutting through grease and grime. Some researchers suggest it might have an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and even anti-cancer properties, though scientists are still figuring out the full picture. It's also used in some natural insect repellents and eco-friendly products because it's biodegradable and less harsh than many synthetic chemicals. 20 healthy adults averaging 26 years old took part in as many as 10 test visits. Each participant inhaled various mixtures that included THC alone, d-limonene alone, a combination of both, or a placebo. Researchers measured mood shifts, vital signs, and cognitive changes. They also examined blood and urine to see how THC and d-limonene moved through the body. The goal was to see if adding d-limonene could help people stay more at ease. The new study found that d-limonene lowered reports of anxious or paranoid feelings with THC when used with higher levels of THC. Ratings of other THC effects, such as changes in thought patterns and overall relaxation, were not altered when d-limonene was introduced. The essential oil by itself produced no changes in mood, heart rate, or mental clarity that stood out from the placebo group. Our study demonstrates that d-limonene can modulate the effects of THC in a meaningful way and make THC more tolerable to people using it for both therapeutic and non-therapeutic purposes, said Vandre. His team believes adding d-limonene may widen the comfort range for folks who rely on THC, especially if they are prone to anxiety. This study is a first step in uncovering how we can mitigate risks of THC when used in medicine, and also is targeted at making cannabis safer for the general, non-therapeutic consumer, said Tori Spindle, PhD Associate Professor of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. He hopes to test other terpenes that may work in tandem with THC too. THC-containing medicines already help with certain conditions, such as chronic pain or chemotherapy-induced nausea. However, high doses can sometimes be challenging for people who are easily rattled by the psychoactive high. Continued studies will determine if d-limonene can consistently cushion those uneasy feelings. Scientists plan to explore ways to administer THC and d-limonene together in oral forms. They are also eyeing different dose ranges that may yield the strongest relief. They believe these steps will add clarity to how cannabis components mesh under real-world conditions. Larger, more diverse participant groups may reveal whether d-limonene works similarly for everyone. Though d-limonene appears promising, experts say these findings need to be replicated more widely. So, like so much that we discuss here, time and research will tell.
Yep.
We've got a dog running in her dreams over here.
Oh, really?
I just keep hearing these little feet like scratching around on the blanket.
She's such a good girl. Yuki girl.
She's sound asleep.
She was outside all day today. Political, state, and business news. Ohio's governor proposed doubling of marijuana sales tax next. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, who doesn't even like weed, proposal to double the state's adult use cannabis tax from 10 to 20% was rejected by the House lawmakers who excluded the tax hike from the state two-year budget proposal. DeWine advocated for the increase to provide additional funding for law enforcement. The decision aligns with normal stance with the higher taxes couldn't burden consumers and licensed retailers. Separately, Ohio legislators are considered bills SB 56 and HB 160, which aim to amend the state's voter-approved adult use legalization by rescinding consumer protections and imposing new penalties on certain marijuana-related activities. Maryland lawmakers approved marijuana tax hike in budget bill, all using it for their cash cow. Maryland lawmakers have approved a budget bill that increases sales tax on adult use marijuana products by 25% starting in 2027. Currently, there's a 9% sales tax on these products. The House and Senate must reconcile differences in the bills before the legislative session ends on Monday, April 7th. Why so much? You could have just went to like 12% and kept it there forever, and you would have been just fine. White House has no action plan on marijuana, but Trump quietly pushed lawmakers on cannabis, banking report says. As of April 2025, the White House has stated that it has no action plan regarding marijuana reform, deferring that matter to Congress. However, reports indicate that President Donald Trump has privately encouraged lawmakers to include cannabis banking provisions in broader legislative packages. This aligns with the previous campaign support for reclassifying marijuana and enhancing banking access to cannabis businesses. Despite these efforts, significant federal policy changes on marijuana have yet to be materialized. Florida officials say marijuana legalization campaign committed multiple election law violations. Of course, you're trying to just get them to stop this for the 2026 again to put on the ballot, but that's just you, Florida. The Florida Office of Election Crimes and Security has issued a cease and desist letter to marijuana legalization's campaign alleging multiple election law violations. The matter has been referred to the Department of Law Enforcement for potential criminal investigation. Supreme Court declines to hear case of scope of federal medical marijuana protections. The U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear the appeal of Lucas Surios, a Maine resident seeking clarification of federal protections for state legal medical marijuana activities. Surios argued that the Rohrabacher-Farr Amendment would prohibit the Justice Department from using federal funds to interfere with state medical cannabis programs should prevent the federal prosecution in this case. The court's refusal leaves the place lower court decision to allow such prosecutions, highlighting ongoing tensions between the state and federal marijuana laws. Vermont brewer, you might all know this brewery. It's been around for a hot minute now. One of the hottest craft brewers for a very long time. Always in like number 1 or 2 in the top 100 craft beers when I was in the craft beer industry. Vermont brewer donates captured CO2 to cannabis grower. The Alchemist, famed maker of the Heady Topper, said it's found an environmental friendly way to recycle beer farts. 2 things yeast does.
Yeah.
Pisses alcohol and farts CO2.
Mm-hmm. And they can capture that.
Mm-hmm. Vermont Brewery has implemented the eco-friendly initiative by donating captured carbon dioxide, CO2, to local cannabis cultivation facility. The collaboration allows the cannabis grower to utilize the CO2 to enhance plant growth, leading to increased yields and improved product quality by repurposing CO2 that would otherwise be released into the atmosphere. Both businesses contribute to reducing the environmental impact. Remember, we talked about how much CO2 produces. So, beer produces CO2 from the yeast, chomps on that malt, the sugars that it makes, and it eats it up, and so it's a local business community kind of thing. I love it. It's
cool.
The partnership exemplifies an innovative approach to sustainability with local businesses community. Love it. Great job. New Hampshire Senate Committee rejects the cannabis bills, including legalization of medical marijuana home grow. Great. Thanks, New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Senate Judiciary Committee has voted to reject 3 cannabis-related bills previously passed by the House. These bills aim to legalize recreational marijuana, permit home cultivation for medical marijuana patients, and allow dispensaries to incorporate hemp products into their offerings. The committee's decision reflects ongoing resistance within the state's legislature to cannabis reform measures. Come on, New Hampshire. This was interesting, always because, let me find it real quick. Sorry, everybody. Here, cannabis sales in March. Mm-hmm. Now, this is throughout the whole country. So you have your Western markets. Let's just talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states that are recreational. Arizona did 101 million, down 14% annual growth. California did 344 million, down 17% annual growth. Colorado did 113.9 million, down 10% annual growth. Nevada, 66 million, did minus 9.4% annual growth. Oregon, 72.2 million, down minus 12.3%. Now we have our eastern markets for March. You ready? Florida, this is recreational, but they're such a powerhouse just with their medical, sorry. Florida's medical, such a powerhouse. Their sales was 224 million, but down 0.5% in March. Illinois, 157 million, but their annual growth was down 10%.
Wow.
Maryland, 94 million. Their growth was down 1.5%. Massachusetts, 148 million, down 3.8%. Michigan, 246 million, down 14%. Missouri, 122 million, down 1.6%. Jersey, 101 million, up 18%. Look at you, Jersey, killing it over there. New York only did 13 million because don't even have enough dispensaries open yet. Did minus 2.2%. Ohio, new recreationals, new 79 million, up 91% annual growth, new market. Right. Pennsylvania, powerhouse for the medical side of things, 107 million, minus 0.2% in annual growth. So March is a slow month. It is a slow month in the cannabis world. So but still, some of those states are taking a beating. My goodness. Supreme Court says CBD companies could face the RICO charges. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that a truck driver, Douglas Horn, can pursue a lawsuit under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act, RICO, against Medical Marijuana, Inc. Horn alleges he was fired after failing a drug test due to THC in a CBD product falsely marked as THC-free. The decision potentially broadens RICO's application to include personal injury claims related to misleading product information. Oof, yikes. Oklahoma activists filed new marijuana legalization initiative for 2026 ballot. Oklahomians for Responsible Cannabis Act have filed a proposed constitutional amendment to legalize adult use marijuana, aiming for inclusion on the state's 2026 ballot. The measure would permit adults 21 and older to purchase and possess up to 8 ounces of cannabis, cultivate up to 12 plants, and possess up to 1 ounce of concentrates. It also includes protections for banks servicing cannabis businesses and safeguards against the penalties related to legal cannabis activities in areas such as employment and housing. Existing medical cannabis dispensaries could begin adult use sales 60 days after enactment. Good. Let's go. Woman dies after consuming fentanyl-laced cannabis in Warwick, Rhode Island. A woman in Warwick, Rhode Island died after consuming laced with fentanyl, and investigating the incident have issued warnings about the dangers of contaminated marijuana. They urge residents to be cautious and only purchase cannabis from licensed dispensaries or grow your own. That's what Mr. Weedman is saying. To ensure body protects product safety, the tragic event highlights the risk associated with unregulated cannabis products. Pennsylvania voters prefer legalizing marijuana through private stores instead of state-run model. Poll finds, because they do state-run model for liquor, for beer and stuff like that. State-run stores. I don't want the state running my fucking weed. I don't think the state should be involved in selling any tobacco, any alcohol products, or any cannabis products. Anything. State's not a business. So that's just my opinion. Don't get mad. Oregon has spent 46 million fighting black market cannabis. Officials can't tell if it's working. Experts say the state's lack of market-related data may be hampering its efforts. Since 2018, Oregon has allocated 46 million through a legal marijuana market enforcement grant to combat illicit cannabis operations. While this funding has led to the seizure of millions of cannabis plants and assisted hundreds of workers, state officials are unable to determine the program's overall effectiveness due to the lack of comprehensive data on the black market scope. Experts suggest that better coordination and data collection are necessary to enhance the impact of enforcement efforts. $46 million, geez. Virginia lawmakers reject governor's move to limit medical marijuana delivery, but uphold other cannabis bill vetoes. Virginia lawmakers have rejected Governor Glenn Youngkin's proposed amendments to medical marijuana bill that would have restricted delivery options for patients. The governor changes governor's changes amid to limit deliveries to private residences and prohibit independent contractors from severing a delivery agent. The House declined these amendments, preserving broader delivery options for medical cannabis patients. In contrast, the legislature upheld Yokin's vetoes on separate bills intended to legalize recreational marijuana sales, offers resenting relief in cannabis convictions, and protect parental rights of cannabis consumers. Whew. Virginia, man. They've been legal for a hot minute now. Recreational, they still can't get any stores. Cannabis retailer hopes Connecticut's new shopping rules help improve statewide sales. Connecticut monthly adult use cannabis sales have remained around 16 million since legalization 2 years ago, significantly lower than neighboring Massachusetts of 140 million monthly average. David Salinas, CEO of High People in Derby, attributes the disparity to restrictive state regulations such as plain packaging and limited in-store experiences to enhance customer engagement. People introduced a bud bar allowing customers to view the smell of product before purchase. Salinas advocates for collaborative efforts among regulators, legislators, and industry shareholders to reform policies and boost sales to levels seen in other states. They're not gonna. I don't know. I mean, they can go up a little higher probably in sales, but you ain't gonna hit those 100 million mark. You ain't got the population growth in there in that state to do that kind of number. But maybe you'll get up to 25, 30 million a month. That's pretty good for good old Connecticut. Nebraska Legislative Committee debates qualifying conditions for voter-approved medical marijuana program. Nebraska's legislators debating to implement a voter-approved medical marijuana program focusing on defining quality medical conditions. Senator Ann Weishart introduced LB 474, aiming to establish a regulated medical cannabis system. However, the bill faces oppositions for Governor Pete Ricketts and some lawmakers who question its medical efficiency and express concerns about federal legality. Despite these challenges, advocates continue to push legislation to honor the voters' decision and improve medical cannabis access to patients in need. Your constituents voted, and all you want to do is shit on them. It's brutal. The cannabis industry is failing medical patients and leaving billions on the table. The cannabis industry, originally founded on medical cannabis, of course, every state started with medical cannabis, has shifted focus toward recreational markets, leaving medical patients underserved. The shift has resulted in limited product offerings tailored for medical needs, such as low-dose, full-spectrum THC products. Addressing this gap presents a significant opportunity, as the medical cannabis market remains largely untapped, with patients seeking products designed for their specific health conditions. What have I said? Don't forget the medical patients. They're the ones that smoke.
Keep getting left behind then.
Yeah, and they're the ones that use it on a regular basis. They're your best customers. They need their medicine, Cannabis consumers are being hit by tariffs already. It's just the beginning. Recent tariffs have increased costs of cannabis companies importing hardware. You're going to see it with vapes. You're going to see it with any kind of device, cannabis devices that you use. That comes most of it comes, probably 80% of it, 90% of it comes from China. So, and you're going to see huge tariffs on that, 104%. To be as of today.
Good. Switch over to flour. It's better for you. You'll enjoy it.
Yes. Products from China now face a 45%, like I said, but it's going to go all the way up to 104%, including 10% increase in February, while imports from Canada and Mexico are taxed at 25%. These tariffs have caused stock prices. Major companies like Tilray Brands and Cannabis Growth to decline by 5 to 10%. Smaller businesses already facing high taxes and limited banking access are particularly vulnerable to these economic pressures. DEA ramps up recruitment for agents to fight the war on drugs as Trump and Musk Doge cuts federal workforce elsewhere. Despite widespread federal workforce reductions, the president and Doge, the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, is actively recruiting up to 2,500 special agents to intensify the war on drugs. Haven't we spent enough?
Yeah.
We've spent over trillions of dollars on the war on drugs, and now we're going to hire 2,500 more DEA agents, and we're going to put more money into the war on drugs. The expansion contrasts with significant cuts in other agencies, including the Department of Education and Health and Human Services. Additionally, the Justice Department is considering merging the DEA and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, the ATF, to streamline operations. Deep breath. Deep breath, Mr. Weedman. North Dakota Senate committee rejects bill to expand marijuana decriminalization that had already passed the House. On April 7, 2025, North Dakota's Senate Judiciary Committee voted 5-2 to reject HB 1596, A bill that had passed the House and aimed to reduce penalties for lower marijuana possessions and $150 civil fine. The proposal will receive support from county prosecutors and defense attorneys, but face opposition from police and sheriff departments. Stephanie Ignigtabertison, can't pronounce it, dead in the water, representing the chiefs of police administration, stated that the voters have previously rejected legalization measures and preferred to maintain criminal penalties for marijuana possession. Where's my mouse? There it is. Texas activists really rally support for another local marijuana decriminalization ballot initiative for 2025. Activists with Ground Game Texas are initiating a campaign to place a marijuana decriminalization measure on November 2025 ballot in Kyle, Texas. The proposal aims to reduce penalties for low-level marijuana possessions. Organizers plan to collect approximately 3,000 signatures to qualify the initiative, with fundraising goal of $50,000 to support petitioning efforts. The effort follows similar successful decriminalization initiatives in other Texas cities, including Dallas, Bastrop, Lockhart, Houston, Austin, San Marcos, Killian. However, some cities like Harker Heights, Elgin, and Denton have not implemented these reforms despite voter approval. Let's go, Kyle, Texas. Come on. Let's go. Decriminalize it so people could smoke and not get in any trouble. The North Carolina Senate president says medical marijuana is still up for discussion, but we'll wait to see what happens with the House when the House passes. So let me. I got to pull up this article because I wanted to read this whole thing. I thought it was pretty well written, and it says a lot because I've been talking about this a lot lately. How much cannabis is being attacked. So marijuana legalization advocates are the majority. It's time we act like it, right? Far too long around the country, lawmakers choose to either ignore the constituency, like we just talked about in Nebraska, like we talked about in Idaho, trying to pull that, Idaho trying to pull your right away to vote for cannabis laws, but the government wants to do that for you. We see this in so many other states where what happened in South Dakota when the law passed the first time, it went med and rec in the same vote. And the governor pulled it. So that means your vote doesn't matter. You're seeing laws across the country being attacked that your rights as a voter wanted this. And now they're saying, I remember I read an article at there was somebody in Oklahoma said that the voters didn't know what they were voting for when they were voting for medical marijuana. Basically, they were calling you stupid. It's just brutal that these politicians, they're
bullying. They just bully people.
And they're not our rulers. Right. They're not our dictators.
They're supposed to pass laws servants. That we are asking for.
Right. They're our public servants. Right.
The majority is asking for X, Y, and Z. Right.
They serve in servitude of what we want, not what they want. With their constituents who voted for them in, they do what we say, not what they want to do.
But it hasn't been that way for a long time.
It's been a long time. 70% of Americans, including majorities of both Democratic and Republican voters, say that marijuana should be legal. At least we kind of come across the table on one thing, right? Yet far too often, lawmakers choose to either ignore this constituency or treat them with outright hostility. In red states like Nebraska, Ohio, and Texas, elected officials are making it clear that election outcomes legalizing marijuana no longer matters to them. And in blue-led states like Maryland, Michigan, and New Jersey, lawmakers are seeking to undermine existing legalization markets by drastically hiking marijuana-related taxes. We've been reading about that a lot lately, all right? In all cases, elected officials are treating cannabis consumers as targets, not constituents. Earlier this year, Republican lawmaker in South Dakota sought to repeal the state's medical cannabis access law despite 70% of voters having approved it. The effort failed, but only by a single vote. Now that is fucking scary that they even put that back on the ballot. Okay? In Nebraska, like we just talked about, lawmakers are also considering legislation to roll back the state's voter-approved medical marijuana law, and Republican Attorney General Mike Hilgers has urged lawmakers to ignore election results altogether. Who are these fucking people? That's why we should have term limits. They get 2 years or 4 years and they're out, so they can't do shit like this. In Ohio, GOP lawmakers in the Senate recently approved legislation that to rescind many of the legalization provisions, like we just read about, approved by 50% of the voters in 2023. Changes advanced by lawmakers, including limited home cultivation rights and creating new crimes for adults who share cannabis with one another or purchase legal cannabis products from out of state. Texas Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton has sued several cities, including Dallas, for implementing voter-approved ordinances decriminalizing marijuana possession. As a result, local lawmakers in various cities, including Lockhart and Bastrop, are ignoring voters' decisions to amend their municipal marijuana policies rather than face costly litigation. In Idaho, Republican Governor Brad Little signed mandatory minimum penalties into law for low-level marijuana possessions, and GOP lawmakers have approved a constitutional amendment forbidding voters from weighing in on any future ballot measures to legalize marijuana. Now, that's going to be voted on by you all, though, if they can do this or not. Say no. No, no, no. And in Florida, where in 2024 marijuana legalization narrowly failed, it received a majority support but less than 60% of the threshold required under the state law. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis is leading the charge to make it harder for future petitions to qualify for the ballot. As we just read, that in Florida for the 2026 ballot, they're throwing a bunch of fucking fines and shit at the group that's trying to get it on the ballot, trying to hold us back. These concerted attacks are explicit reminder that the war on cannabis and its consumers remains ongoing, and in some cases is even escalating. Now, you see, I like mushrooms, I like psychedelics. I've talked about this in the past, but I see more praise going to psychedelics right now than what cannabis is all about. It is fucking disgusting. And I'll say it once and I'll say it again. If psychedelics get passed and on the federal level, comes off Schedule 1 first, boy, oh boy, Mr. Weedman's gonna have a field day. You might see Mr. Weedman at the fucking state capitol hanging from the fucking rafters. Blue states haven't made moves to roll back legalization or reverse election results, but several Democratic governors are looking to balance their budget deficits on the backs of consumers. For instance, in Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy has proposed raising the state marijuana-related tax nearly fivefold. Maryland, a budget that we just talked about, is raising their prices. Governor Whitmer wants to do 32% in Michigan on her taxes. We're all using it as their cash cow. Illinois goes any higher, I'm going to be hanging in the rafters in Springfield, too. If enacted, these proposed increases will not only lighten consumers' wallets, but they will also hurt state-licensed businesses. As lawmakers push marijuana prices artificially higher, many consumers will exit the legal market and begin patronizing the traditional market, the black market, the unregulated market, or just start growing their own, undermining one of the preliminary goals of legalization. Regardless of whether you live in a red or blue state or in a jurisdiction where cannabis is legal or illicit, it's time for legalization advocates to stand up and assert themselves. Cannabis consumers are neither criminals nor ATMs. I've talked about it. I love this article. They're hardworking, responsible adults, and they vote and they pay their taxes, because there's two things that you're going to do. You're going to die and pay taxes. So, and you're going to vote if you choose to, because you're right. Now it's time to become a complacent, not to become complacent or presume that marijuana will somehow legalize itself. Change only occurs when advocates agitate for it and when elected officials fear political consequences for failing to abide by voters' demands. Those who support legalization aren't part of the ideological fringe. They are the majority. It's time for advocates to act like it and for lawmakers to treat cannabis consumers with the respect they deserve. I deserve some fucking respect. Right?
We all do.
Right. All us burner stoners and potheads. We pay our taxes. We work hard.
Yeah.
We want our weed. Free the plant. Right? Puffing away. As cannabis consumers' tastes evolve, industry must look beyond potency. We've talked about this so many times right now, because potency is what people...
It's all, everything. Right? Everything's about how high is the THC.
Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
So for years, the cannabis industry has been shaping itself by a singular focus: THC potency. Store menus highlight THC percentages, consumers chase high numbers, and many strains have been bred to maximize THC content at the expense of other characteristics. But is that truly what makes marijuana special? Beyond THC levels, branding, packaging, and promotions heavily influence consumer choices. Beyond THC levels, branding, packaging, and promotions do heavily influence consumer choices. The classic 200 per ounce deal has evolved into a $100 mix and match special, allowing consumers to explore a variety of terpene profiles and effects. Just as craft beer enthusiasts appreciate curated tasting flights, cannabis enthusiasts seek diversity in their experiences. Keeping up with industry trends while maintaining quality is crucial for businesses navigating this rapidly shifting landscape. Historically, marijuana breeding focused on aroma, flavor, and nuanced effects. Strains were selected for their distinct terpene profiles, from sweet and floral to earthy and grassy. However, widespread lab testing and commercialization shifted the focus almost entirely to THC content, leading to a homogenization of available genetics. This change has had a profound impact on the market. While rigorous lab testing is essential for ensuring safety, emphasis on THC has overshadowed the complexity of the entourage effect, the synergy between cannabinoids, terpenes, and other compounds that define a strain's experience. Researchers, such as the late Raphael Mechoulam, have studied this interplay for decades, revealing that THC is only one piece of the puzzle. Despite the drawbacks of an industry fixated on THC, high-potency strains serve an important role. Extractors rely on THC-rich cultivars for efficient processing, and some consumers genuinely prefer strong psychoactive effects. However, potency does not have to come at the cost of flavor and complexity. Many high THC strains, such as GMO, Gush Mints, Jenny Kush, Chemdog, and certain gelato phenotypes, boast rich terpene profiles while delivering powerful effects. The notion that high THC marijuana lacks depth is a misconception. Some of the most flavorful cultivars on the market also test at the top of the potency scale. This underscores the need for a more balanced conversation around cannabis selection, one that acknowledges both THC content and the broader sensory experience. The evolution of the cannabis market closely mirrors trends in craft beer. Over the years, mass production lagers have lost ground to artisanal brews with unique flavor profiles.
How long have I been talking about that?
Yeah.
How many years now? The last,
forever.
I've been talking
forever.
about mirroring one another.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Similarly, in states with mature marijuana industries such as California, Colorado, and Oregon, consumer demand is shifting toward high-quality flower and premium products such as hash rosin. Just as beer drinkers have moved beyond alcohol percentages to appreciate complexity and taste, marijuana consumers are beginning to look beyond THC levels to explore the full spectrum of aromas, effects, and therapeutic benefits. This shift signals a growing appreciation for the art and science of cannabis cultivation. The key to reversing the industry's current narrow focus on THC is education. Retailers can play a pivotal role by highlighting strain effects, terpene content, and aroma profiles rather than emphasizing potency alone. For example, limonene-rich strains often provide uplifting effects, while myrcene-heavy varieties tend to be more sedative. Breeders, too, are essential in reshaping consumer preferences by developing strains rich in lesser-known cannabinoids such as CBG or THCV. They can offer a broader range of effects tailored to different needs. Some innovators have already begun this work, emphasizing full-spectrum experiences rather than just THC concentration. The movement toward legalization was fueled by advocates who championed the plant's therapeutic, cultural, and social benefits. That same passion should be harnessed to preserve the plant's genetic richness. By refocusing on diverse aromas, cannabinoid profiles, and the enjoyment of effects rather than THC alone, the marijuana industry can create a more inclusive and well-rounded marketplace, one that celebrates the full potential of our favorite plant.
Our favorite plant.
Yeah. And that's you and I. I mean, we like our hash and we like flower.
We love good flower.
Because it's pure. It's the purest. It's just pure. It's
so
clean.
Good. It's almost like that pure white snow
flavor.
I snorted up my nose back in the day when I was on the ski mountain. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay.
This is 100% pure snow.
Up your nose. Guess you're not a good skier.
No, not at all. International news. Oh, light that joint up one more time for me, will you?
Sure.
One more quick little hit from our friends over at Midwest Terps, who's going to be doing an event soon. I'll get the information for everybody. I think it's coming up in June. It's salts versus organics competition. See who takes the crown. But I'll have more information about that when the event comes a little bit closer. I'll let everybody know about it. Well, we're going to be there too, I believe, right, Mrs. Weedman? So I think it's
we are.
Yeah, we'll get more information from E&T from Midwest Terps about that, and we'll let everybody know. But we'll get into international news in a second. I want to smoke some more of some of this sour secret.
Good stuff, right?
So good.
I was looking up because you had talked earlier about making tea.
Turtles?
No, well,
sorry.
somehow in I think your first article you talked about cannabis tea.
I did.
Yeah, there's a good. I'll have to post this. There's a good recipe online. So you have to decarb it.
What do you put tea in?
I'm not telling you.
This classic cat.
A tea strainer.
Oh, there you go.
I have a word other than the word you want me to say.
You don't say the word anymore.
No, I don't.
Not around me, anyway.
No.
For 31 years, I've made fun of you every time you said the what word?
I'm not saying it. Now, forget it.
International news. Coffee shops can still sell illegal hash during the final stage of legal cannabis experiment. In the Netherlands, coffee shops participating in the government's cannabis experiment are permitted to sell hashish obtained from illegal sources during the trial's final phase. This phase aims to assess the feasibility of full regulated cannabis supply chain. While the sale of cannabis products in the establishment is tolerated, their cultivation remains illegal, creating a legal paradox. Isn't that weird? So weird. So weird. Canada's retail marijuana expansion came with only modest increases to use, new study shows. A study published in the International Journal of Drug Policy found that between 2018 and 2022, while the number of legal cannabis stores in Canada increased significantly, cannabis consumption saw only a modest growth. The percentage of Canadians purchasing cannabis from legal sources from 37% in 2019 to 69% in 2022. However, the overall prevalence of cannabis use increased from 21.9% in 2018 to 27.2% in 2022, indicating the expansion of retail outlets had a limited impact overall on consumption rates. I see that everywhere. Just because cannabis goes legal in your state or in your country, and only 20% of the people were smoking, don't think you're going to get another. You're going to jump to 55-60% of people smoking weed in your state. Right. It doesn't work that way. You know, there's still people that still like to buy from their person they've been buying for 20 years. Mm-hmm. You know, they trust it. There's also, it's not for everybody. Not everybody smokes weed. There's people that are trying weed, coming back into it too. It takes time, you know. It's not to only go up 6 percentage points in usage. You know, it's not a lot, but it is a lot in some ways, you know, in a short period of time. It's going to take time, education, freeing the plant more, you know.
And there's a lot of people who just aren't comfortable still saying to people that they consume.
Yeah, and they still have, but they also, a lot of people still have that negative connotation about the stigma too, because they were taught in schools and they were taught by their parents or whatever, police officers, the DARE program and all that stuff. So, new National Cannabis Advisory Committee to explore the benefits of marijuana towards development of industry. Dominica has established a National Cannabis Advisory Committee to assess the health, legal, economic, and social implications of marijuana use. The 12 to 18-month initiative aims to inform policy decisions on cannabis reclassifications and regulations. Chaired by Dr. Kenneth Derricks, the committee will consult diverse stakeholders to develop the national roadmap for the cannabis industry, emphasizing sustainable and innovation. Recommendations may include creating a National Cannabis Regulatory Commission for industry oversight. Cannabis Champions Cup, Spain's premier cannabis competition. The Cannabis Champions Cup, held in Barcelona, Spain, is one of Europe's premier cannabis competitions, attracting industry leaders and enthusiasts annually. The 2025 event featured a range of categories, including Best Cannabis Flower, Best Concentrate, and Best Edible. Winners receive recognition for their exceptional products, contributing to the ongoing evolution of cannabis culture and the industry standards. The competition also served as a platform for networking and knowledge exchange among participants. From today, all doctors in Czechia can prescribe medical cannabis. As of April 1st, 2025, all general practitioners in Czechia are authorized to prescribe medical cannabis to patients suffering from chronic pain, expanding access beyond the previous limitations to specialists. The change allows patients to obtain 3-month supply with a single prescription. Additionally, minors under 18, oncologically diseases, and requiring palliative care are now eligible for cannabis-based treatments. That's cool. These reforms aim to streamline access to medical cannabis and align prescribing practices with those for other pain management options. Cannabis use among BC youths continues post-legalization plunge. 2024 report by the McCreary Center Society indicates that cannabis use among British Columbia youths has declined to its lowest point in 25 years. The survey, involving approximately 38,500 youths aged 12 to 19, found that 22% had tried cannabis, down from 25 to 26%. In previous years, 41% in the 90s. However, among those who do use cannabis regularly, consumption has increased, with 61% of users having used it in the past month. Additionally, 10% of youths reported purchasing cannabis from retail stores and 3% online. Medical cannabis linked to long-term benefits, health-related quality of life. A 12-month Australian study involving 2,744 patients prescribed medical cannabis found sustained improvements in health-related quality of life, including reduced fatigue and sleep disturbances. Participants also reported decreased anxiety, depression, insomnia, and pain. These benefits are maintained over the study period, suggesting that medical cannabis may offer long-term relief for previous chronic conditions. Go Australia. I love it. Our friend is down there. Much love. What's some good ideas for a 420 party, for the ultimate smoke sesh, besides throwing an apartment party one year and almost got in trouble for doing it?
Well, welcome to the ultimate guide to throwing a perfect 420 party. But wait, do you even really know what 420 is about? The iconic date has become a cultural. I know Mr. Weedman right now is like, it's not a date, it's not a date, it's not a date. We'll get there, Mr. Weedman.
Yes, I know.
This iconic date has become a cultural symbol of appreciation for all things cannabis. The term 420 started in 1971 with 5 high schoolers in San Rafael, California, who called themselves the Waldos because they hung out by a wall after school. They heard a rumor about an abandoned cannabis crop near Point Reyes and made a plan to search for it. Meeting at 4:20 p.m. after their school activities, they'd head out, lighting up along the way. So today, 420 has become a worldwide phenomenon, representing a day to go out together, kick back, and bond over our shared love for cannabis. Are you ready to celebrate 420 like never before? Here's some things you might want to know. A 420 party is the coolest event you'll ever attend or host. It's a gathering that celebrates the unofficial holiday for the cannabis culture known as 420, celebrated on April 20th each year. If you think of regular house parties packed with alcohol, sticky floors, and people of all different drunk styles, well, cannabis parties, they're a bit more elevated, that is. It takes on the classic house party concept, yet focuses on the aspect that everyone invited loves weed. It's an instant icebreaker. Everyone has something in common. But throwing a 420 party, people won't forget, it does take some serious planning. So without further ado, here are some activities you can include at your weed party. 1. Take your party outdoors. Give your weed party an organic feel by hosting it outside. Whether it's in a backyard, a park, or at a beach, there's nothing better than enjoying nature with some weed on hand. April 20th is prime springtime, and flowers are in mid-bloom. 2. CBD for calm and clarity. Some guests might respect cannabis but would prefer to avoid THC. Give them the option of CBD. You can find particularly inexpensive CBD edibles online, especially gummies. Toss them in a clearly labeled bowl and serve to guests who prefer to stay THC-free or want to add CBD to their THC high. How about a shared playlist? Music and weed go hand in hand, and what is better, than a collaborative playlist to capture the essence of 420. Encourage guests to contribute their favorite songs, creating a playlist that's an absolute vibe for everyone. 4, make a creative corner. Stoners need a creative outlet. Grab some board games, playing cards, coloring books, and other art supplies for guests to tap into their creative side. It's a fun way to keep guests engaged with friends while ensuring they'll have fun. 5, a refreshment spot. One of the most common side effects of THC is dry mouth. Help your party goers combat it with a refreshment station. Keep it THC free, since hydration can take its toll after a long day of THC. Set up an area with water and a variety of non-alcoholic beverages. 6, have a joint rolling contest. J's for days. Put your guests' rolling skills to the test and hold a rolling contest. Who can roll the most joints? How about who can roll the fastest? Provide them with rolling papers and tell guests to bring your own weed. The only contest rule: the joints must be smokable. No loosey-gooseys. 7, a vape station. If you really want to go the extra mile, include a dedicated vape station packed with your favorite devices. Suggest that guests bring their best device and place it on the table for others to try. You might be introduced to a whole new way of vaping that you didn't even know existed. 8, set up a 420 themed photo booth. They might be expensive to rent, but a DIY one never fails. Consider picking up some themed props to keep the 420 theme on brand, and imagine blowing clouds and snapping photos. 9, set up a quiet relaxation area. Create space for quiet time. No TVs or music in the area, just a couch, some chairs, and some visually appealing decor. Bonus points if it is outdoors. Some people might want to chill and chat in peace and quiet, while others might want to start sketching, journaling, or meditating. For those who feel a little too elevated, it is necessary for them to get their footing and mellow out for a bit. 10, edible making. Why not challenge your guest's inner cannabis chef? If you aspire to become the culinary master of 420, consider experimenting with different edibles. From infused brownies to canna butter popcorn, making edibles is a fun and very rewarding way to put your creativity to work. 11, a weed tasting booth or station. Organize a weed tasting activity where different cannabis strains can be evaluated and appreciated. Participants examine aspects like aroma, flavor, and effects of each strain. Start with sativas, lean into hybrids, and end with relaxing indicas. Bonus points if you toss in different ways to experience the strains like concentrates and dab rigs. 12, choose your 420 outfit. As with any special occasion, you've got to dress the part, whether you're hosting the event or attending as a guest. Here are some inspirational suggestions to help you create the perfect 420 themed outfit. You can go with trend-setting attire. There are many clothing brands using hemp as a raw material to create their outfits. What better time than 420 to wear one of their pieces?
8decades.com.
Green goddess. Green will probably be the color of the day. Make a statement with an outfit that reflects the lush greenery of cannabis plants. How about a trippy tie-dye extravaganza? Dive into the psychedelic side of 420 with vibrant tie-dye prints. This classic, colorful style perfectly complements the laid-back, free-spirited vibe of the celebration. 420 casual. Keep it casual with comfortable yet stylish attire. Graphic tees with witty cannabis references or iconic plant-related symbols add a fun touch to your attire. And remember, the key is to have fun with your outfit. Whether you opt for bold or eye-catching or something subtle and elegant, let your attire reflect the unique spirit of 420. 13. How about decorations 420 themed? A party isn't complete without decor. For this, anything from weed symbols to green streamers and balloons can set the right vibe for 420. And 14, cannabis-free comforts. Include a variety of non-cannabis comfort foods to satisfy hunger after smoking. Options such as cheese sandwiches, sliders, and fresh fruit plates offer a balance to cannabis-infused treats. Some people might even want to indulge in alcohol, and it's best to give them the option without banning it altogether. Just ensure that they understand it's a weed party. And 15, negative vibes stay at the door. You know, those energy vampires who seem to suck the positivity out of a room? Yeah, leave them off your list. In true stoner fashion, a cannabis party wouldn't function without good vibes. Any negativity, stigmas, and misconceptions surrounding weed stay at the door. Consider a sign that reads, good vibes from this point forward. And a few final tips. Manage your guest list. Figure out how many people can be there, have space for people, and remember the vibe that you're trying to create. Create a good environment. Legal considerations, just, if it's not legal where you live, just know what you're getting yourself into. Make sure you have plenty of cannabis, or make it clear that people are supposed to bring their own, and encourage responsible consumption. So have a happy 420. Enjoy the holiday, and of course,
the holidays. Hopefully we'll see you all on the flip over there. All right. This is amazing. Probably a video game I've always wanted created in my whole entire life. I wanted to see a game like this made. So there's a new game, top selling game right now on Steam, and it's a cheeky nod to America's war on drugs. And it was released late last month, and it's a new video game about making it big as an illegal drug dealer.
You were telling me about this. Yeah.
Has climbed to the charts on Steam and currently sits on top of the platform's list of top sellers. The title, you ready for this? Schedule 1. Is a cheeky nod to America's drug war. Schedule 1 is the latest in long series of popular video games involving illegal drug selling, from the text-based drug wars of the 1980s to today's massive Grand Theft Auto franchise. Schedule 1, which sells for $20, has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, and it's number 1 among top-selling games. It's currently available now. You can buy it now. And modifications and installments are expected to be added over the next couple of years. You're a small-time drug dealer rolling into a fresh town with no cash, no product, no connections. The game's description says, build your drug empire from the ground up in the grungy West Coast city of Highland Point. Contend against intensifying law enforcement and deadly cartel competition to expand your empire to reach the peak of the underworld.
Oh, it's going to explode.
I've been watching Paulie's friends play on Discord.
Yeah.
T the Tech got it, and another guy named DD got it, and they're killing. I haven't bought it yet. They've been busting. They're like, Mr. Weedman. They call me Pops. Pops, you have not bought this game yet? I'm like, no, because I'm playing 2 other games right now, and I don't. If I play, I don't like starting a game and not finishing it. Right. I want to finish. So I'm like, so watching these guys play, you could like set up a whole entire like
industry
and like become a kingpin. But like watching them grow weed and all these like warehouses they have set up with employees working for them, and like beautiful buds. But then you can do more. You can do cocaine. You can grow cocaine plants and then make cocaine and sell that. You could do meth.
It's going to get shut down.
No, how is it going to get shut down?
So?
No, you can do meth. You can make meth. I think. Yeah,
but don't you think that kids will like think that in reality they can go out and start doing this?
It's 21 and over. I think it's an 18 over game. You have their parents' permission to be able to buy it. But then there's going to be an update where you can grow mushrooms. You could do psychedelics, and I think
shit's gonna go wild. Really?
But when I've watched the guys play the pot, I would not do anything else. But they all moved on from pot. Well, a couple of them have.
What are they selling
because they're doing meth because there's more money.
They're doing meth.
Yeah, they're selling meth. They're making meth and selling it because there's more money in it, and cocaine too. Right. So when I buy the game, I'm probably just gonna do straight weed the whole time and grow my own weed empire. The game's called Schedule 1. Check it out. It's a lot of it. I love watching it. While playing the game I'm trying to beat, and I've been watching them play it, so I'm so far to make it fun of me, like, we're gonna be so far ahead of you. I'm like, it's okay, I'll play it when I'm ready. The graphics are very old school. There's nothing great about the graphics. It's not like, holy fuck, these graphics are amazing. No, not at all. It's almost like stick figure kind of animation. Yeah, it's but it's great. That. It's so great. It's so computer generated looking. It's pretty awesome though. So check out Schedule 1. So Mrs. Weedman?
Mr. Weedman.
Listen, before I ask you this question, I want everybody out there to just put this in your memory and think about this when you're stoned. 2 turtles tortoises having sex. Mrs. Weedman, you got anything else to say?
Absolutely not. Don't be a turtle. It's terrible.
Everybody out there in the world, thanks for listening. We love you. Having some fun. Hopefully you are too. We appreciate y'all out there. We love you. As Paulie always says, smoke smart, puff puffing away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.